Just a few nudges from the shadows.
Do you get what he's saying right now?
Homie.
This dude is pure evil.
Deku gets up, he stumbles, he falls, but in the next page you see probably why. Oh god! Wow. Honestly, the fact that they pay like homage to like the big dragon, that's fantastic. Like it's Shenron, yeah. That's super sick. Yeah, you can
see their numbers of their popularity poll on their jackets.
We don't even need Bakugo to show anything.
He's using his finger for it.
He used his finger for that one. So is that Deku with number 2? Sorry, I'm looking at my smaller screen here.
Yep, Bakugo's number 1, Izuku's number 2,
Todoroki's
number 3. I believe 4 is
4.
He's behind Endeavor. Number 5 is Hawks. Then Ida, then Ochako, and then it's our boy Octo Arms.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into it.
This is a big one.
So we start off with page 1. It's all for one looking like Chainsaw Man. Hot second, hey Chainsaw Man. And you're like, oh wait. Totally. And then, oh no, it's poor little Deku. He's falling to the depths. Still does not have like his arms growing back.
Just stubs.
They're just stubs right now. All for one. Izuku Midoriya?
Izuku Midoriya?
How dare you destroy my one for all, my Yoichi.
My property.
Yeah, went back to All for One / Shigaraki, but his consciousness is just like melded back in there. Yet, he says, Tenko's spiritual defeat here in his subconscious realm has allowed my own consciousness to claw back control. So that's pretty much what we were saying, yeah. The next page is falling to, we see like Shigaraki's falling to the abyss. Foolish Tenko Shimura. This is All for One still talking. Such a pure, credulous superego, a soft simpleton unable to relinquish his, I'm sorry. Granitious? Yeah, life. Yeah, yes. Benefiting from my guidance every step of the way, yet amounting to nothing. As he zooms into Shigaraki, he's just like, he's now starting to become like pieces, shattering, shedding away. Let me see who's talking here. I don't get what you're talking about, Master. That's Shigaraki, okay. As I mentioned, not a single one of your choices has been your own. I did choose. I made those decisions. Yes. I had to make you think that, or else your strength of will would have been stunted. It was crucial to twist around your illusion of free will. This dude. Actually, how many pages have I taken? I'll just take this last page here. Daigoro Banjo, aka Lariat. Is that his actual hero name?
Yep, Lariat Daigoro Banjo.
Whoa. N Taitai, aka Smoke Eater. Whoa.
So we're getting full names and hero names.
The full government, bro. My encounter with those two informed me that stealing back one for all would require a strength of will greater than the wielder's own. While All Might had me on the defensive, I conducted my search for a soul who could someday grind away at his spiritual fortitude. It was a, sorry, just kind of snapped there. It was a quest for that most powerful of emotions, one born from the heart's suppression of the, I'm sorry, let me zoom in. Enhance.
I think it says ID.
Yeah, it does say ID. I was like, I had to do a double check on that. Of the primordial urge. Yes. I sought a seedbed fertile for hatred to grow. Sorry. What's there to think about? These days, I think this is going to a flashback of, I think that's his dad? That's Tenko's dad, right?
Tenko's dad. It looks like All for One's talking to him.
Yeah. What's there to think about it? These days, heroes never show up to offer aid when they're actually needed. Again, Tenko's dad talking. As I will now need to move this over to another page because it's being inconsistent with me. These days, heroes never show up to offer aid when they actually are needed. Children needed siblings because nobody else will help them out. This is All for One. The daughter, his firstborn, was already too far along, you see. I couldn't afford to be caught, so I never quite overstepped. Man, he knew him since then, too. He was waiting. Just a few nudges from the shadows.
Do you get what he's saying right now?
Yeah.
He encouraged them to have Shigaraki?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to use him?
That's foul. He truly means, from your conception, I had this all strung along. Yeah, that's terrible.
We see the baby Tenko with his mother and father, and
baby.
a hand on his head. I removed the yet unknown quirk factor passed down by your parents, you son of a bitch.
Whoa.
I encouraged your father's strict ways, you son of a... And we see a truck go by as Tenko's playing with his friends. I gave you something to aspire to. And then we see Shigaraki we see Tenko just walking. Hello there, you must be Mr. Shimura's son, no? With that odd face right there. This road's a dangerous one with all that traffic. And I bided my time. Why don't you
take my hand? This dude.
As we see he's doing something. We go to this next panel. It was sourced from a quirk at one of the good doctor's facilities. Is that Chisaki?
Is that really Chisaki?
It looks like it could be Chisaki.
I don't know, because Chisaki was kind of like on his own for a little bit, right?
We stripped away half of it, the ability to reverse its effects, leaving basically, it had the ability to destroy and recreate, like a certain someone's quirk, leaving an incomplete, subpar copy engineered solely to promote destruction. The very quirk I granted you.
Bro.
The very quirk I granted you. I was right. He said, Shigaraki's like hyperventilating now. You mean indeed. The tragedy, the ordeals, the rejection, the validation, all granted by me.
Homie.
This dude is pure evil.
Dude. Yo. I can't with this guy.
On to the next panel. Good lord. We see flashbacks to heroes. We see flashbacks to his family. We see Shigaraki just starting to shatter apart. This is all for one. All that you are. You speak of your unwavering heart. Nonsense. For shame. His spirit is now mine to delete. I was saving this last resort until after he'd stolen one for all. But that's no longer in the cards. Be gone from my body.
Yo.
You can start taking these next three.
It cuts back to Deku, still stubs for arms, and he's still a child. All for one! And just like a huge pure explosion here. From like actual like the real space. As you can see, like the Navi Fairy like drone getting pushed actually looks like it's either being pushed back or pulled back. Yoichi's gone. You see a little shred of a finger right there.
You see fingers, broken trees.
Actually, a lot of broken fingers. Next page. Oh, dude. Next page is... Oh, this is crazy, dude. This is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Let me focus on this panel before I look into the other pages again. This is really sinister. So you see the fingers falling apart, but they're also crumbling at the same time as we see Shigaraki's body walk forward. It looks like we have like the way that they illustrate the speech bubble here. I think it's just
overshadowing.
It's overshadowing. It looks like it might be Shigaraki being interpreted as like just saying but overlapping that is, I think, All for One speaking. My immediate or intermediate goal is foiled, and still more. All for One says a lingering note as he forms a hand the same way Shigaraki has done for himself before. Covers like it's just created like full mold of a hand, and he just says, "Be silent." Oh my god!
This man is the definition of a menace.
The next page, he lifts his arm. He looks at his hand. The spiritual damage has taken toll on the flesh. Interesting form. Like just think of Shigaraki's hair still flowing, but like he is absolutely thinned out. But yeah, he looks at his hand. Decay, he thinks to himself. His rage and hatred are no more. Are you dead yet, boy?
So that means decay is gone, and all the emotions are gone.
The vessel I spent years searching for and cultivating is ruined, as is my brother. All that remains is... for one, this is Deku. He's on the ground right now. I'll move on to my hollow, immaterial final goal. That is to say the world. Deku gets... I won't look... And he stumbles, he falls. But in the next page, you see probably why. Oh god, that was real. Oh god, dude.
So for those of you at home wondering, Izuku has legitimately lost both of his arms.
Yeah, that wasn't just like, that wasn't all for one space. That was like, that was real.
Oh my god.
All for one's here. Neither of us emerged unscathed, I see. Deku. Oh no,
you see him dragging his bloody stubs.
not the bloody stubs. It cuts to the panel of him, like, of Ida taking his arm when he tried to escape the one time.
When he still had arms.
He's struggling. It cuts to him, like, in the hospital, like, knowing that, like, he had taken a lot more, like, hits and he was able to take it. But he still looks at me. He says, "Not done yet. Not yet." As a, like, I'm trying to look. There's, like, a sliver of a panel of just darkness, but there's something there.
It's like maybe like an ember of sorts, maybe.
Maybe. It cuts to a wider shot. All for One just advances forward towards Izuku. Loss engenders strength. That's a narrative trope I intend to establish. Such a pitiful end was inevitable. For a child, nothing to lose in the first place. Interesting enough, as he's saying this, you see the danger sense, like, kick off. But he has his hand, like, pushing out as if he's going to reach, like, Deku right then and there. But what happens next page? Yo.
I'll take over.
Yeah, take this over.
We say our boy Sero.
Sero, bro.
This was hype. When I saw this panel, I was like, that's hype. That's hype. Spider-Man is here.
Oh my god. He truly is Spider-Man.
We see Izuku, Sero. Then we see All for One looking back. Trivial. Negligible enough that Midoriya's presence obscured the warning. So I didn't even notice that the Danger Sense lightning bolt was there. So that was a good notice by you, actually. We see Sero saying, "Midoriya needs some saving, pal."
He does.
And that's when we see Izuku's like, "Oh," and we see the boys.
The boys are rolling up.
We see Sugar Rush and we see Tailman. They about to give this man an ass whooping.
Yo.
Tornado tail dance. Sugar knuckle.
Sick.
They're both just like, huh. We see Izuku say, "Sero, Ojiro, Sato, you're all still alive." Behind him, we see a black portal open.
Oh.
Midoriya. We see Aizawa stepping out like it's Endgame.
Yo.
Sorry for the delay.
Dude. Sheesh, bro.
Bro, Aizawa stepping out of that gate like it's Endgame with the portals. I was like, yo.
It really was Endgame portal.
That means Shirakumo?
Shirakumo might actually show up. And honestly, if it was just like, if it was just portals that you could do, that's fine.
Dude, if it's Korigiri, but it's cool. But if it's Shirakumo, bro,
I mean, that would be a big help right now.
Like, because they're gonna need everybody for this.
I really thought it was going to be just one-on-one, all for one for all space. Nah, dude. All for One's still just a menace. But the best part out of it was the fact that class like 1A can like go in.
I knew I was right. I did not realize it went further than that. I did not realize he was the one who encouraged this man
to make another son. Baby.
Not only that, he also encouraged this man to be as strict as he was.
Man, dude.
I was like, this man, it might just be the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen.
Mr. Shimura was actually like a pretty like decent person, but All for One had to like kind of like push like the buttons here and there.
All for One is the reason he became such an asshole.
This is terrible. I don't even know what's gonna happen. Yeah, I don't even know what's gonna happen to Shigaraki now. Like, they could just like they could just cut him out, like just like that.
I mean, maybe he'll have new hatred for All for One.
I mean, there's that too. That'd be kind of crazy that like it just kind of resurges back. If this idea that we've all had of like Deku saving like Shigaraki, and he would eventually at least acknowledge that he's done wrong and would like to just stop, if anything, if that just gets cut, because All for One had to be that guy, I think that's also a pretty valid like thing for like Horikoshi to do as well.
This man is really doing Aizen level shit right now. Ichigo, don't you know I'm the reason you were born?
I pushed the parents to have you.
I saw your parents together, and I was like, you know what? Let's let them get together. Let's see what happens.
I matched them together on Bumble. What? I forced your father to move so they can be closer together and find each other on the website, on the app.
It was me, Barry.
It was me, Barry.
He is the kind of guy that would do that.
It was me, Tenko. I passed down the quirks. It looked like you would cause the murder of your entire family. No.
This man.
It truly is that
my
way.
biggest piece of shit that we've ever seen in Shonen.
Yeah, dude. Oh, man. So, all right. We have now another battle emerging from this one. And that's, I'm going to just say it's Class 1A. Possibly any other leftover heroes to just to help Deku out. And honestly, I think that's also a good way to go.
I would say he still could, but then again, he doesn't have any fists.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, if Deku literally just ran up there with feet, then all
Shoot
right.
Style.
Shoot style.
I mean, right now, his options are either... Well, Aries still too hurt to heal him.
Yeah, and also she's kind of far away now.
Well, not hurt. Aries doesn't have enough energy to heal him right now, and on top of that, the only other thing I could see is if Hitsume could get him some prosthetics.
Oh, yeah. That's crazy.
like Aizawa's leg.
Yeah. Now, just a clarification, when Aizawa like pops out of the portal, is the prosthetic just kind of like behind him in a way? Like he's like mid-stepping?
Yeah, he's like mid-step. You see his leg is still in there.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad you brought this up so we could look at the panel again, because I just noticed something that's kind of got me a little hyped now.
What's going on?
Look at the portal. Why is there a part of it that's white?
Why is there a part that's white? Is it to signify that like it's not all the clouds, baby? Those are clouds.
Dude, I didn't even see that. Now I'm like, oh shit.
Oh, man, dude. Yeah, I'm kind of psyched to see what's going on next chapter.
Bro, if Shirakumo just opens a fuck ton of portals right now and just brings everybody to fight the final boss. Oh.
We're going to have the final beatdown that is completely inspired by JJK.
An absolute JJK level jumping.
I don't know. I'm just hyped now. It was a chapter filled with shock, almost sadness, but then they hyped it up again.
I'm trying to decide if this makes All for One a good villain or if this makes him a huge piece of shit, or both. I think one of the marks of a good villain, one of them that people find a lot, is relatability. But so I don't think he has that necessarily, because I don't think we really relate to him like at all.
Yeah, we don't.
However,
yeah,
another mark of a villain is being unlikable, I think.
This is also very true.
Because there are some villains that where it's like they're just pure bad, and sometimes that's what makes them a good villain. Sometimes a villain is not supposed to be liked.
I think I've fallen into the category that I've been liking a lot of like shows just having characteristics in a villain that I can kind of understand, like empathize with. But obviously they kind of go too far in. Never really those who just have like a motive and they just kind of go forward with it in a way that alienates me from them. So I usually have not like really connected with those types of characters, but
like I don't think All for One is a bad villain. I think that as a villain he definitely works. I think he's like obviously this big brain sociopathic kind of guy. Like this is diabolical. This man's a monster.
It says a lot about like his influence, and therefore like he represents like a huge bad, especially in Japan, in the My Hero verse.
Yeah, he is essentially just this.
He is the biggest.
It's been a big chess game to him.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? I guess you can probably look into the depths of like his past in the sense that, you know, he was born from nothing. There's no compassion. There was no mother to look out for him. He just had to live on his own and survive with like his younger brother. So
true.
He never really learned to be compassionate.
He never really learned empathy.
Yeah, he learned to survive, and he understood that he had a power that offers him a level of like privilege and success that no one else would ever be able to attain. And he really took that to his own and was very selfish about it.
Yoichi also had nothing, and yet he turned out like a nice guy.
This is true, and that's true. He was also influenced, so it's interesting. Interesting how both characters like turned out. You know, I guess you know what? Maybe it's because that Yoichi he was weak and frail, and he relied on his brother heavily, and the fact that his brother did kind of care for him to an extent
as property.
His property, for sure, but you know, he's at least, Yoichi was still at least being taken care of. If it was the other way around, who knows what would have been like different, you know?
It's like he viewed him as like a pet.
That's true. But Yoichi didn't even think too much about that. The fact is that, like, that's his brother. That's all he knows. And, like, his brother provided.
It's like, and none of that. He probably viewed him as less as a pet and more of an item because of how easily he was willing to just destroy him.
Yeah. I forget the fact that he did really just push him and kick him initially. No!
He said, no, ouchie, no ouchies. And then just pushed him down.
But he ultimately just tolerated him. Well, yeah. You could say, like, he doesn't care, but moreover, at the very least, like, he at least talks to him. He's the only person who takes care of, like, Yoichi, so he's bonded with him. Because otherwise, Yoichi really didn't really learn too much compassion from, like, anybody except for those who, like, literally pulled him away from All for One, at the very least. That being the second user. But yeah, dude, all I can say is that we have the next chapter. 7 days. I am looking forward to seeing what, like, turns up in the end of that portal. What, like, the fighting roster is going to look like against Last Man Standing All for One. But
you're just gonna see President Mike come out.
Oh yeah, President Mike is going to show up unless he wants to do some support and, like, recruit a lot of people. I can see that too. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to say. Mark, was there anything else you wanted to add before we go ahead and call?
I just thought of something.
Okay.
What if Overhaul comes in now and just makes Deku some new arms?
That's kind of tough because there's nothing left of his hands unless you really took one of those hand/fingers from Shigaraki and he, like, reassembles Deku with those. That would be wild, but it is possible.
That's one idea I have, since Eri is technically not able to right now because she doesn't have the energy in her horn.
Yeah. But yeah, Deku, he lost his quirks through the passing on, so I don't even think, even after recovering his arms, I don't think his quirks are really going to be going. Well, actually, he might have the embers. There's still that.
Because we did say that, so he might still have the strength.
Yeah. Considering the fact that All Might spent a good while fighting, even having passed on the quirks. Actually, you know what? I think Deku might be back in the game as long as his arms are back. Oh, hell, even without them.
All feet.
I will say this. There's something on Shonen Jump, right? They had promoted this. Yeah, I did see it, but I didn't think too much about it. I just kind of went over to, like, the exact chapter. But it does show this All for One, and it shows Deku. He does have hands out, so I mean, obviously they don't want to show spoilers per se, but it could also mean that, like, he'll eventually get his arms and he could still, like, still fight. So
there is that Horikoshi did that ending image from My Hero that might be one of the ending images, and in that Izuku does have both of his arms.
Oh yeah, I do remember that one. But I guess that's it on me. Anything else, Mark?
Bro, this chapter was heavy.
This gave me a lot of emotions. I appreciated that.
Like, this was a good chapter. This was also a very fucked chapter.
Yeah, so revealing.
We had a lot of hype moments, like Sero showing up.
It's always Spider-Man, bro.
Yep, and now we got Aizawa showing up. We're like, oh, it's about to get good.
It's cool to get Tailman, like, some, like, spotlight as well as Sato. Yeah, dude. And honestly, the fact that Aizawa's still here and he can do whatever he needs to do, it's gonna be interesting. Like, setup.
He's got one good eye.
One good eye. Alrighty, guys, we'll go ahead and call it here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I guess we'll see you guys in the next chapter. 420, dude. We'll see it.
Blaze it.
Take care, everybody. #bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.